of 101 famous poems. America for Me. By Henry Van Dyke. Spoken and with commentary by E. T. Hansen. "'Tis fine to see the old world and travel up and down among the famous palaces and cities of renown, to admire the crumbly castles and statues of the kings. But now I think I've had enough of antiquated things. So it's home again, and home again, America for me. My heart is turning home again, and there I long to be, in the land of youth and freedom, beyond the ocean bars, where the air is full of sunlight, and the flag is full of stars. Oh, London is a man's town, there's power in the air, and Paris is a woman's town, with flowers in her hair. And it's sweet to dream in Venice, and it's great to study Rome, but when it comes to living, there is no place like home. I like the German fir woods, in green battalions drilled. I like the gardens of Versailles, with flashing fountains filled. But oh, to take your hand, my dear, and ramble for a day in the friendly western woodland, where nature has her way. I know that Europe's wonderful, yet something seems to lack. The past is too much with her, and the people looking back. But the glory of the present is to make the future free. We love our land for what she is, and what she is to be. Oh, it's home again, and home again, America for me. I want a ship that's westward bound to plow the rolling sea to the blessed land of room enough beyond the ocean bars, where the air is full of sunlight and the flag is full of stars. Country of the past, country of the future. We Americans cherish a lot of myths about ourselves, and one of our favorites is that we are somehow inferior to Europe. Growing up with a love of literature and writing, I was confronted in school, in college, and on events with writers with a general feeling that Europe had real culture, real literature, and respected writers and artists, while America had Mickey Mouse and Hollywood and corporate fabricated pop music and TV that appeals to the lowest common denominator. In politics, we often hear about the superiority of Europe, their gunless cops, their effortlessly functioning social systems, their love of peace and goodwill toward all. Pundits love to point to some far-off, paradisical European country like Finland or Sweden and say, if it works there, why can't it work here? And there's no doubt that Europe really is a great place to live. It's just, after a while, you notice things. When I left America to study medieval literature in Germany, my father gave me a word of advice. "Son," he said, "enjoy your time over there, but remember, America is where it's at. This is where things happen. I laughed at him then and thought, "Old man, you still think America is the center of the universe. You don't understand that we're just one country among many, and not the best one either." I loved it in Europe. I loved all the castle ruins and ancient churches and the quaint towns and sitting around in street cafes. I studied literature and history and soaked it all up. And when I talked to my European friends, they confirmed my liberal ideas that America thought too much of itself, was superficial and materialistic, and didn't understand the fine points of culture or politics. But it's a funny thing about prejudices. After hearing the same message for too long, the novelty of it wears off, and you begin to think. You begin to wonder if it's true. After a few years, I took a closer look, and I noticed a strange discrepancy. Europeans love praising their own culture, but what they mean is culture that is a couple of 100 years old, the kind of culture you learn about in school or in a museum. When they finish praising their past, they go home and read Stephen King and Jonathan Franzen, and they watch the latest Marvel Comics adaptation and Game of Thrones, and they listen to jazz and blues and rock and roll and hip-hop. Europeans are quick to criticize American politics and society. Too many guns, too backward, too conservative, too much religion, too materialistic. But when Europeans get excited about a new idea, it's usually an American idea. Black Lives Matter and third-wave feminism and gender politics and woke culture. And the same goes for the technology and innovation that is changing their society. Twitter, Google, Apple, Tesla, just about everything that points toward the future comes from America. When I talk to fellow writers here, I often notice something in the way they think. They value the past more than their own present. European writers have a great love and respect for the thinkers of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Marx and Hegel and others, and they spend a lot of energy quoting, referring to, and emulating those greats of another era. But somehow they never manage to go beyond quoting and imitating. It's like there's some kind of unwritten law that keeps them from overtaking the heroes of the past. You can honor the Goethes and Schillers, the Thomas Manns and Bertolt Brechts, but you can't be better than them. To create a modern culture that might outshine the culture of yesterday would be a kind of betrayal, even sacrilege. Europeans don't stand on the shoulders of giants. They are crushed underfoot. And I thought again of my old dad. Son, America is where it's at. America is where things happen. About Henry Van Dyke. Henry Jackson Van Dyke, Jr., 1852 to 1933, was an American writer, educator, and diplomat. He was born in Germantown, Pennsylvania, the son of a prominent Brooklyn Presbyterian minister. He graduated from Princeton and served there as a professor of English literature for 2 decades. He also lectured at the University of Paris. Van Dyke was a friend of Helen Keller, who said of him, "Dr. Van Dyke is the kind of a friend to have when one is up against a difficult problem." He was an ambassador to Holland when World War I broke out, was elected to the American Academy of Arts and Letters, and officiated at the funeral of Mark Twain. He is known for his many short stories, including 2 Christmas stories, The Other Wise Man and The First Christmas Tree, and poems that include America for Me and Time Is, which was read at the funeral of Princess Diana.